So in this post, we're going to be talking about how to use essential oils in kids. This has been an amazing area that I have been able to replace synthetic products with natural products for my children, which is so important because kids respond very differently to toxins and synthetic products versus adults because their bodies are smaller, their metabolisms are different, and because even their liver is smaller and their kidneys don't work as efficiently as ours. So they can't take in as much toxic synthetic burden as we can as adults. So this was an area that I have really used essential oils for on a regular basis for kid ailments that we have on a regular basis. So one thing to keep in mind when you're using essential oils in children is dilution. It's always extremely important to dilute the oil. And when we're talking about a standard dilution, the standard dilution that they say for newborns to infants is 1 to 2 drops of an oil to 1 tablespoon of an oil. I kind of apply that out to kids in general. And so most of the literature that I have read has said that once you hit the age of 6 to 8, you can take their dilution up to the same ratio that we use in adults, which is 1 to 2 drops of an oil to 1 teaspoon of a carrier oil. So that's just your generalized standard. I can't emphasize enough, though, to have an abundance of caution when using essential oils in children. Never, ever let your child ingest the oil. If they do, by accident, ingest the oil, and keep in mind, I treat them like medicines because they are medicinal. So I keep them up and away from my kids. My kids do not have access to them. But if your child were to ingest essential oil, it's actually important to let them drink milk, cream, something with fat that actually can dilute the essential oil down. Giving them water will not help. So some sort of milk product is what you would want to give them, and definitely call your poison control center. Hopefully that won't be a problem. Like I said, I treat these like medications. I keep them up and away from my kids. Some standard oils that are considered to be safe in children, keeping in mind there's not as many studies in children with essential oils as there are adults. We're extrapolating a lot of the information that we understand about essential oils in adults to children with the understanding that we're going to be diluting them. So the standard ones that are safe in kids are cypress, frankincense, geranium, ginger, lavender, of course, is one of your safest oils, lemon, melaleuca, marjoram, orange. Orange is a great oil to use in kids. Rosemary, sandalwood, thyme, and ylang ylang. I've had wonderful outcomes with the Digest Zen blend that doTERRA makes in my children. And remember that I am always applying this either topically or aromatically, and I'm using that dilution. Obviously, when you're doing it aromatically, you're just going to be putting it in your diffuser with water. But really, when we talk about dilution, we're just talking about topical application. So for tummy troubles, usually diluting 1 to 2 drops of the Digest Zen or just ginger alone in a tablespoon of carrier oil, because my kids are young, under the age of 6 to 8, and actually applying that onto their tummy. Another thing that I love to do with my children, and this has become so sweet, such a sweet, wonderful ritual that we do at night to kind of wind down, is taking 1 to 2 drops of lavender, and I actually have mine pre-diluted in a roller ball, and I just swipe it on the bottom of their feet and give them a little bitty, small massage to just kind of wind them down at night. And it is wonderful. They love it. And my son every night reminds me, it's time for oils. I need my oils. And it's super cute. He has this little one footy pajamas on, and he unzips them and loves to pull his feet out and says, I need oils on my feet. Wild orange is another one that is wonderful in children for helping with any mood disruptions that they love to have. So I love to rub that on their feet and use it aromatically too. Keeping in mind too, for skin irritations in kids, all the little scrapes and bumps and bruises and bites and things that they get. Lavender is wonderful in its application for them diluted for anti-inflammatory. Melaleuca is also wonderful for preventing any or providing kind of antibacterial protection in any of those little injuries that they have. So it's been wonderful to use on my children. I know this is a little bit long of a post. If you don't have kids, you can just skip over this one. But it's been something that has really opened up my entire arsenal of tools that I can use to help kind of treat them in their daily lives, the little things that come up with them. Another one is for temperature reduction. There's a lot of different evidence out there on peppermint and for temperature elevations in the body. And you know, there's different schools of thought about whether it's a safe oil or not. I have used it with safety, but I heavily dilute it. So I'm meaning like 1 drop in a tablespoon, rubbing it on, I used it on my son's back, on his front, and it's nice because you can see a true temperature decrease when you're using that oil. That oil has a very cooling effect onto the body. What I use when we have respiratory discomforts or issues in the kids is I always usually use Melaleuca and lemon. Breathe is a beautiful blend that doTERRA makes for that. I've used that in my son after the age of 2. But before that, under that age, I was using just lemon and Melaleuca. Those are both wonderful oils for the respiratory system. So that's our post today on kids and essential oils. Please comment in the post below or ask any questions you may have. If you have specific ailments that your child is having that you want to ask a question about, please do that. And let me know a couple of areas too where you think that you could use these essential oils in helping your kids with their daily little problems that come up.